Oh,
What are you doing?
I'm putting my hands up.
You are making us look bad.
What's up, comic comrades? Long time no see. I missed you so much. But I'm back and I'm here to tell you what Sony and Marvel might be planning for Peter Parker and Eddie Brock after No Way Home and Venom Let There Be Carnage.
All right, have it your own way.
Mask! Copy!
Stay tuned till the end of the video and don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and check that notification bell.
You need to come out right now.
I will let you eat everybody! Promise! I promise! Oh, yeah!
Venom Let There Be Carnage was definitely a turd in the wind. Hey, but at least the after credits scene teased something every Marvel fan should be hyped about. After saving the world from Carnage, Eddie and Venom take a tropical vacation. When the post-credit scene begins, the two are lying in bed, watching a Spanish-language soap opera, which prompts Eddie to wonder whether or not Venom hides things from him. Venom explains that he has access to eons of collective symbiote hive mind knowledge that spans thousands of universes and realities, and that Eddie's mind couldn't handle it. In other words, yes, he hides stuff all the time. But, as a show of good faith, Venom says he'll show Eddie just one example. Just as Venom is prepared to show Eddie something, the room starts to shift and the symbiote gets worried. The hotel room changes completely, the sky gets brighter, the entire look of the movie changes, and they're transported to a similar but slightly different hotel room. Maybe even in a parallel universe. In this new reality, there's also a new show on Eddie and Venom's TV, which Marvel devotees will quickly recognize as the after-credits scene from Spider-Man Far From Home. J.K. Simmons, who has twice played J. Jonah Jameson in live-action Spider-Man franchises, reveals that the real identity of Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker.
Before showing a photo of Tom Holland in the Spider-Man costume without a mask. Neither Eddie nor Venom seem to know exactly what's happening, but Venom says, "that guy," before trailing off and licking the TV image of Peter. Kinky. None of that is too weird, as Simmons' version of Jameson appeared in Sony's original Spider-Man trilogy starring Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. The character was absent from the two Sony Amazing Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield, save for a quick reference. Then Simmons Jameson shocked Marvel Cinematic Universe fans by showing up in a mid-credits scene in the Sony Disney Marvel Studios Spider-Man Far From Home to publicly reveal Spider-Man's secret identity as Peter Parker. The more mind-blowing aspect of Jameson's Venom appearance for Marvel fans is that the news report is on the same subject, blowing Peter Parker's secret, and Holland's face is boldly displayed on the screen.
Spider-Man was responsible for the brutal murder of Mysterio.
And just like that, Venom is in the MCU. Though the original Venom was met with pretty negative reviews, it was a huge success at the box office and attracted a sizable faction of supporters due to its abject silliness. Hardy was compelling enough in the leading role, and the relationship between Eddie and Venom proved entertaining. While the critical consensus is that Venom Let There Be Carnage is far from a masterpiece, it has fared slightly better critically than the first film, and has received some notable praise for embracing the inherently ridiculous nature of the Venom character. Prior to the Venom Let There Be Carnage premiere, Hardy said that a sequel to Venom 2 would only happen if the second film did well. And with Venom 2 performing spectacularly at the box office, it seems like a sure thing that Venom 3 is on the way. Let There Be Carnage director Andy Serkis has said that he is interested in exploring more of the villains held in the Ravencroft Institute. So it's likely that Venom 3 will be digging even deeper into the catalogue of Spider-Man villains that Sony currently owns the movie rights to.
Do something!
Let's just hope there's nothing about that random Siegfried guy. But one better villain who has already been teased in Venom Let There Be Carnage is Toxin, the offspring of Carnage and one of the most dangerous symbiotes in all of Marvel's comics. The ending of Venom 2 includes a shot of police officer Patrick Mulligan, played by Stephen Graham, seemingly being infected with some of Carnage's symbiote, which will likely manifest as an appearance from Toxin in Venom 3. Due to the other upcoming releases in Sony's Spider-Man universe, however, like Morbius and Kraven the Hunter, it may be a few good years before Venom 3 reaches theaters. Neither Disney nor Sony have confirmed Venom for Spider-Man No Way Home, but it seems like the inevitable result of the Venom 2 post-credits scene. The film will see characters from previous Spider-Man film canons entering the MCU to battle Holland's Spider-Man, with past villains like Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, and Jamie Foxx's Electro already confirmed. The Multiverse Convergence event caused by Doctor Strange in No Way Home would explain how Hardy's Venom was brought to the MCU, and it would be fun to see him finally come face to face with Spider-Man. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. The Venom 2 post-credits scene confirms an MCU crossover movie of some sort sort, but does that mean that he'll be joining the franchise for good? In short, no. Sony still owns the film rights to Venom, as it does with Spider-Man and all of his associated villains and sidekicks. Those rights will remain with Sony indefinitely, as long as the company produces a Spider-Man universe film every 2 years. Reports say that Sony has asked for $10 billion. Yikes! To sell the rights back to Marvel, which is a price Disney is unlikely to pay, and because of the value of the Spider-Man franchise, Sony probably won't stop making the movies anytime soon. Spider-Man has been allowed to feature in the MCU through a separate licensing deal between Sony and Marvel, where Sony has effectively rented the character back to them for certain movies.
So many snacks, so little time.
So, a similar deal is likely behind Venom's impending MCU debut, which in turn means that while he could continue to be licensed out to Sony for additional films after No Way Home, there is no guarantee that Sony will let Marvel hold on to the character. The former has big plans for its own Spider-Man film universe, and Venom is a key piece of those plans. While he may appear once or twice in MCU Phase 4 or 5, Venom probably won't become a permanent staple in Disney's franchise. In addition to the hypothetical release of Venom 3, Hardy's Eddie Brock could appear in a number of Sony's other upcoming Spider-Man movies. Rumors that Venom will appear in Morbius alongside Jared Leto's eponymous vampire haven't been confirmed, but it seems incredibly likely as Sony is still in the early stages of building out its shared universe. There's also been speculation about the Sinister Six movies Sony are desperately trying to make for years, which could also feature Venom in a prominent role. Until Sony releases more of its Spider-Man universe movies, it's hard to say how exactly Venom will fit into the overarching storyline, because he's still far from the Iron Man type of character that usually leads big film franchises. It's hard to see how an Avengers-style crossover movie would happen in Sony's Spider-Man universe, but Venom Let There Be Carnage seems like just the beginning of the character's expanding adventures on the big screen.
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Please let me fix it so I can play it again. You are a loser.
For that to continue to happen, I think Venom's characterization should expand. In both Venom movies to date, the Venom symbiote is portrayed as an anti-heroic character who resolves to protect Earth after learning to love its inhabitants. In particular, his strange love story with primary host Eddie Brock makes Sony's Venom a humorous entity that provides spades of comic relief to the already self-effacing franchise. Eddie and Venom's odd couple dynamic translates well into the big screen, helped in no small part by Tom Hardy's complete dedication to the role of a man who has fully embraced a life of symbiotic corruption. Yet, despite Sony's Spider-Man universe incarnation of Venom garnering immense popularity, Venom's movies have only begun to scratch the surface of what makes him awesome. Venom's journey in Marvel Comics canon from a parasite twisted by revenge to a reborn anti-hero is completely passed over in Sony's Venom universe, making his decision to fight crime with Eddie and not the other superheroes far less impactful. Yeah, Venom feels as if he's missing swaths of backstory in the Sonyverse, with neither his Clintar history nor his critical relationship with Spider-Man touched on as of yet. Venom leaves whole chunks of its primary character's history unexplored with his decision to open the film with the Life Foundation's probe discovering a comet filled with symbiotes. While an understandable decision most likely predicated on the fact that Sony's Venom was not yet part of the MCU, Marvel Comics' has already established Venom history forms an integral part of his persona, both in his unbonded form and while merged with hosts. Venom, like all Clintar or symbiotes, was created by the dark god Null on a desolate planet with the sole purpose of conquering the universe. The Clintar were designed to be parasitic in nature, imbuing the attached with strange powers while secretly feeding on their hosts to the point of death before choosing another vessel. Venom's species history is critical to the character, as he is the only Clintar to oppose Null's will, choosing to coexist with the life forms he bonds and to enhance them exponentially. As a result, Venom is banished from the King in Black's symbiote kingdom as an aberration, highlighting his unique status as a benevolent entity years before his arrival on Earth. This backstory is essential to better understanding what makes Venom a special proposition in the Marvel Universe, and would also have been a much easier sell as to why Brock so easily persuades Venom to protect Earth. In short, Venom is the symbiote other Clintar love to hate. And this fact would have also been a welcome inclusion to Let There Be Carnage's slapdash handling of why Venom can ultimately best the vastly superior Carnage in battle. Aside from the poignant ostracization from his home planet, Marvel Comics' Venom goes through an arduous journey of self-discovery before becoming the willing anti-hero shown in Sony's Venom Spider-Man franchise. Venom's first host on Earth is none other than Spider-Man, who cast aside the symbiote after being disgusted to learn it is a sentient creature that amplifies his more violent tendencies. Spider-Man tears the symbiote from his body atop a bell tower, where, unbeknownst to him, his journalistic rival Eddie Brock is waiting to commit suicide after being fired from the Daily Bugle. Venom senses Brock's pain, bonding with him to save his life and absorbing Brock's hatred for Peter Parker in the process. Venom's rivalry with Spider-Man is well documented in the Marvel Comics, with the pair battling numerous times before Eddie Brock shuns Venom.
Hey, Parker.
In fear of the monster he has become. It is only then that Venom, realizing that he was used as a blunt instrument of Brock's emotions after a defeat at the hands of Styx, returns to Eddie, with the pair resolving to fight crime to undo the damage they wrought on New York. Sony's portrayal of Venom does away with this entire character arc in favor of promoting the idea that Venom and Brock are intrinsically meant for each other. Part of what makes Venom so appealing as an anti-hero is the spiritual awakening he has after a near-death experience, spurred on by his history with Spider-Man. By removing this dawning realization from the film's equations alongside his primary nemesis, Venom's character in Let There Be Carnage supporting and returning to Eddie feels very thin indeed. The unconfirmed Venom 3 might yet right these narrative issues, given Venom 2's bombshell post-credit scene. But for now, Venom's motivations are reduced to the simplistic affection he has for his host. In both Sony Venom installments to date, Venom has inhabited a tiny fraction of bodies compared with his extensive host catalog in the Marvel Comics canon. Sony's Venom has only bonded with human hosts so far, displaying the same characteristics, whether with Anne Weying as She-Venom or his primary host Eddie. Yet, one of Venom's draws for his biggest supporters is his ability to bond with a litany of superheroes across Marvel history and produce fascinating symbiote permutations. Who would not want to see Captain Venom, Iron Venom, or especially Venom Paul? One of the best superhero bonding examples is Venom's continued merging with Thaddeus Ross's Red Hulk, amplifying his powers exponentially. Venom's symbiote potency mixed with Red Hulk's gamma-powered strength enables the pair to literally enter hell and stop the apocalypse from happening. These all-powerful pairings are an aspect of Venom's Marvel story so far unexplored in the Sonyverse. Yet, Venom's confirmed entrance into the MCU could perhaps be a factor that can change this one-dimensional portrayal of the symbiote.
He has got shit you have never seen.
What does that mean? What are our chances?
Pretty much.
With the MCU's vast array of superhero teams currently active in Phase 4, it would be a crying shame not to see at least one multiverse interaction where Venom ups the ante from Venom Let There Be Carnage and bonds with an already superpowered host. So, that was for Venom in the MCU. What characters you want to appear alongside Eddie Brock? Thor? Doctor Strange? Rocket Raccoon? Tell me in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Peace out!